Hello and welcome to the United Community Channel, and this is the match reaction for Aston Villa versus Manchester United. United with a 1-0 win, really positive win out United. Delighted with how it went, have to say. Happy days. A very professional performance out of Manchester United. Really was. Very professional performance out of Manchester United, and I think give me 1 sec now. I think it was a well-deserved win. I have to say, well-deserved win, because United dominated majority of that game. You know, obviously there was points within the game where, Villa were on top and they were creating chances, and of course you're going to get that. But a massive 3 points in relation to the top 4 has to be said. Who we got? Chris says big win. Jamie says United. Jock says that it was 1-0 or 100. Delighted. Was never going to be an easy win. Villa are in good form. Yeah, absolutely. Ben says get in. So look, really happy with the result. I want to run through the league table really quick before we get into the match reaction in general. So league table as it stands, guys. Let me just refresh here. So obviously City go top with their win today, 76 points, 75 points to Arsenal. But Newcastle stay in third. They won 3-1 today, I think, on 65 points. We're on 63 points with a game in hand in 4th place. We are 9 points ahead of Spurs with a game in hand. They play Liverpool in the late game, I think is at 4:30. And then Villa are behind them. We've got 2 games in hand on Villa, and we're 9 points ahead of them as well. So, look, I mean, if we go one more down to 7th, then it's Liverpool on 53 points with the same games played. They're obviously playing later today, so we'll have a game in hand on them as well if they do go on and win. So, look, it's a massive 3 points in relation to top 4 for Manchester United. It really is, and I think I'm not going to go as far as saying that that's top 4 sewn up yet. It's not, because there's a lot of work to do. You know, we've got, 6 games left to play. And if we're looking at fixtures in relation to United, let's have a look at our fixture list, because, not saying it's not an easy run-in. It's not an overly difficult run-in either. Now, obviously, you have Brighton. I think our next 2 games are probably our hardest. Brighton away from home, and then we've got West Ham away from home as well. Never an easy place to go. We've then got Wolves. We've got Wolves at home. We've got Bournemouth away. We've got Chelsea at home, and then we've got Fulham at home. So we finished with 2 home games to Chelsea and Fulham. So look, it's in our hands now, which is great. Look, it's been in our hands for a couple of games, but when you're coming off the back of such a disappointing result against Spurs midweek, into a game like this, you're thinking this can go one of 2 ways. You know, you're saying, right, if we go out and we don't get a win today, or we end up losing, all of a sudden United's top 4 chances are slipping away. The media is jumping on it. Everybody is jumping on it. Maybe the players are starting to feel the pressure a little bit, this kind of thing. But I think it was very important today to go out and just put in a professional performance. A consistent 90-minute performance was what was needed today. And I think we got that. I really do think we got that, because we seen 2 different teams, for example, on Thursday night against Spurs. We seen a very good Manchester United side in the first half, and we've seen an atrocious Man United side in the second half. And I think today it was more balanced. I thought we were very good in the first half. I don't think we were as good in the second half, but I still think we were the better team. We maybe didn't dominate as much possession in the second half as we would have liked to, but when you're defending a 1-goal lead, and Ten Hag makes some changes, and he's right in doing it, when you hit that kind of 70-minute mark, he needs to freshen things up. And we know our bench is not overly strong, but you get your Freds onto the field with fresh legs. You get your Anthonys onto the field, and then he, with maybe 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 minutes to go, he brings on, Harry Maguire, and just says, okay, let's see out this 1-goal lead. We don't need another goal, and it's natural for you to drop off as players when you're playing yourself. So Ten Hag obviously knows that. So he said, right, well, I'll give him a hand. I'll put in another defender to help him out. So I was really happy with that today, I have to say. Some points to note in relation to players, because there were some very good performances today. I think our defence, our central defence, has been really good. Couple of mistakes against Spurs midweek. I don't think were our central defenders' fault. We got done wide. Obviously, Malacia was at fault for the second goal, and the first goal was a cross into the box, fell to a guy in the edge. Can't really do anything about that. But I've been so happy with how Lindelof and Shaw have just bonded, really quick. Luke Shaw is having such a brilliant season, I have to say. I've been so impressed with Luke Shaw over the last 6 months. He's been absolutely fantastic. He's gone into that centre-back role and he's just absolutely made it his own. To the point where you're saying, do we need another centre-back in the summer? We've got Luke Shaw. Do we go out and get another left-back? But it's great to have these kind of options. It really is. And I think it's a favourable headache for Ten Hag to have. You know what I mean? Or do I drop a centre half for a left back? These kind of things. Let's see what people are saying here. Weghorst should have come on in moments. No, Elk, I completely disagree with you. He says Weghorst should have come on in moments like that, the last 10 minutes, and play with two strikers when you're defending a 1-goal lead makes no sense. I have to disagree with you there. You pack out the defence, you pack out your midfield, you leave one guy up front who is able to hold the ball up for balls that go forward. He doesn't hold the ball up, and he's not that good in the air for a big guy. All he does is run around and work hard. I have to disagree with you on that. I think that game was never made for Weghorst in any way, shape or form. DJ says, got to make sure we stay focused. Could slip up on those road games. Brighton is tough. Absolutely, DJ. And this is the business end of the season now. You have to be going into it with a mentality of, we have to stay professional, stay grinding out, keep our shape, score our goals when the opportunity arises. Completely agree. PS says, this United team puts the heart in the throat of every fan. Yeah, absolutely. Chris says, Fred gave the ball up and foul, guys. He needs to stay on the bench. Ericsson needs to stay. Wan-Bissaka should have come on. Iceman and Shaw has been great. Maybe we don't need another centre-back if Shaw can play there. Bring Alphonso Davies in. Katorga says, that's the secret to winning. Don't score more than 1 goal, and if we score 2, we need to quickly score another. Well, look, I would like to see us score more goals. We've created a lot of opportunities. If I'm being super critical today, the one criticism I would have of United today is that our final ball was very poor. It was very poor. The final ball in around the corner, in the channels, over the top, was too heavy. 9 times out of 10. How many times did Martinez for Aston Villa just come out and clear the ball, or it roll into him in the box? Our final ball was poor today. Bruno, Ericsson and Casemiro. Now, that's not to say that they were poor. It was just their final ball was a little bit off. And I think if we had got that right today, I think it would have been a cricket score. I really do. Sully says, Booters bet 4-2 today. Great result for United, thank God. Yeah, I was keeping an eye on Twitter, Sully, about the Booters game. Devastating for the boys. But yeah. Jock says, Shaw busted, totally agree, great season at his age. It would make sense now for him to go more central, and he is more intelligent now, doing great at centre back. Absolutely, Jock. Chris says, true number 9 would have made a game 4-0 by half time. Absolutely. Katarga says, Villa made so many mistakes, but we didn't capitalise. Well, I think we forced them into mistakes, Katarga, and that's what I was happy with today. We pressed them so high up the field, and we pressed as a team, which was brilliant. From the front man back, we all pressed together and we forced them into going long. We forced them into kicking the ball out for throws, and we forced them just kicking the ball back to us, and we turned over possession. So I think that's more credit to United than it is criticism of Aston Villa. Kane or Osman would have finished chances, says Chris, and Ben said we could have had 3 penalties today. We could have. We really, really could have had 3 penalties today. I agree. But I'm really, really happy with the result. I have to say, really, really happy with the result. Get your player ratings in, guys. We're going to start them here now as well. Player ratings. We're going to start with David De Gea. Clean sheet for David De Gea. I thought he controlled his area a lot better today. He came out and was brave and punched some balls in from corners. Them corners were dangerous today, and he was out for 2 or 3 of them to punch clear, big and strong. He made a couple of very important saves. I thought he was very good. He'll get a 7 from me. But let me know what you think as we go through them, guys. David De Gea, let me know what you think. Victor Lindelof today was phenomenal. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. He is so underrated as a centre back. Now he has his moments, like everybody does, but I think, and I go back to what I said over the last couple of games, I think the criticisms, sorry, let me just put it up on the screen. I never put it up on the screen, my apologies. My criticisms of sorry guys, just give me 1 sec. I think the criticisms of Lindelof have been the criticisms of Lindelof have been because he's been playing with Harry Maguire so much. You know what I mean? And I think the fact that he's been lumped with Harry Maguire for so long, I mean, I can't think of any player that improved alongside Harry Maguire. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think now that he's getting a run of games without him, he's shown how good of a defender he is, and today he was absolutely magnificent. I'm giving Victor Lindelof a 9 today. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he headed the ball clear. He made a couple of last-ditch tackles. His passing was good. His communication with Luke Shaw, you can see he's pointing an awful lot and he's pulling lads in. And this, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I really do. And it's going to be hard to beat a 9. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal. Bruno Fernandes gets a 7 for me. He got a goal today. His work rate is phenomenal. How he continues to... Actually, do you know what? I'm going to undo that and give him an 8. His work rate is phenomenal. I think he gets a lot of stick from opposition fans, of course, all of the time. And rightly so. And, you know, we want our players getting stick off of opposition fans. It means they're doing something right. His work rate today was phenomenal. His defensive side of his game is brilliant. I was delighted for him to get the goal. And he got the goal on the back of determination and real willpower just to follow in that ball and really want to get on the end of it. So I was delighted for him today. He's had a bit of a blip, or not a blip, he's had a bit of a dry spell in relation to goals, so I was delighted to see him get it today. It really was. Now, when we look at, let me see here, who's next? Marcus Rashford is next. Rashford will get a 7 for me today. I thought he looks very dangerous on the ball. He is that player that we have that you can just tell when defenders square him up one-on-one, they are cacking themselves. They really are. And he was unlucky. He got in the second half through 2 defenders, and the ball just kind of took a slight defection off one of the defenders, hit his foot, and then rolled into Martinez's hands. I thought he was very unlucky there, but I think he's so dangerous when he's on the ball. And you put a 30 goal a season striker beside him next season, and Rashford has a season like he's having this year, we're challenging. We are challenging, I have to say. Malacia today, I'll give him a 6. I didn't think he'd done anything wrong. Good that he gets a clean sheet. There was one, I mean, he gave away that free kick on the edge of the box at the very end, and it's just a little bit of naivety out of him when there was 2 other defenders there ready to close down the attacker, and Malacia just shows a little bit of inexperience and brings down the player. But I don't think he done anything overly wrong. He got a clean sheet. I like his link-up play, I have to say. He passes the ball very well and he's composed on it an awful lot. But a good, a good solid 6 from him. Eriksen today, I'm going to give Eriksen a 7 as well. Eriksen hasn't got 90 minutes in him, and Ten Hag knows that, and we just have to deal with that. We have to control the narrative as much as possible and say, look, Eriksen is not getting 90 minutes, but when he does give you 70 minutes, my God, he gives you so much creativity going forward, so much composure on the ball. We know he's not the quickest. We know he's not the most defensively minded player, and he can get, if he's tracking back one-on-one with a man, chances are he's going to get beaten for pace. But when he's going forward, he's worth his weight in gold. He really, really is. And I thought he had a very good game today. Again, the slightest little criticism would be the final ball. And I don't think he was the worst player out of the three in midfield that were putting them balls in. But that final ball was just a little bit too heavy. But I love his overlaps and I love his link-up play when we get into the box. We seen the goal for Rashford the other night against Spurs. Ericsson just comes out of nowhere, makes that dummy run around, for Sancho, makes that dummy run around Sancho, pulls the defender with him and gives Sancho the space just to open his body and score. But look, Ericsson was very good today. Delighted for him. Sabitzer gets a 7 for me as well. I think Sabitzer is a very good footballer. I think some of the things he does on the field go unnoticed. His work rate at getting into the box and getting beyond the opposition's back four is really good. And what that does is it pulls a central midfielder with him. Okay, so he's going, fuck, what do I do? You know, they're playing three up front and now I have a central midfielder running past the back four. I have to go with him. And what happens then is all of a sudden Casemiro and Ericsson or whoever it is, Bruno Fernandes, that are behind him are going, look at the space we have now because he's pulled a midfielder with him. I love his energy. I love his work rate. He's a good footballer. And I think he's got a place in our squad next season if he wants it. We do know he wants to stay. And I think we should sign him up like that. I think he'd be a very good squad player. And I think it would be very good business out of Manchester United. So a good solid 7. Casemiro gets a 7 as well for me. Just solid in that middle of the park. Actually, do you know what? No, I give him a 7. I don't think he was drastically better than Sabitzer or Ericsson. So I think if we keep them all on an even keel on 7s, I think is the fairest thing. But made a couple of really good tackles, made a couple of very good defensive headers from corners as well, which I'm happy to see because we've seen a couple of goals being given away in the last few weeks. 2 in particular, I think were in Europa that he got beaten quite easily for headers. So look, glad to see that. But he's the engine in the middle of that midfield, I have to say. So I'm really happy with his performance. Dalot, I give him a 7 as well today. Look, back four, I thought all played really well. I think if I give him Malacia a 6, I have to give Dalot a 7 because I thought he was better than Malacia. And again, a clean sheet. JG, thanks for the gifts, really appreciate it. Hit the like button as well, guys. Hit the thumbs up button if you're watching on YouTube. And hit the follow button if you're new to the channel. And the subscribe button on YouTube if you're new to the channel as well. But Dalot. Again, I go back to me being old school. A defender's job is to defend, and we kept a clean sheet today. I think he linked up quite well going up the line. I still think there's room for improvement in relation to our fullbacks. I think Luke Shaw is okay on the left side when he plays there, but on our right back, I think we can improve. I really do. And there's a lot of division in the United fan base to between Dalot and Wan-Bissaka, and I think it's kind of horses for courses more so than anything. You know, you pick your defensive fullback or your attacking fullback depending on how you want to play, and Ten Hag obviously knows how he wants to play a lot more than we do. So yeah, look, I think he had a good game today. Luke Shaw, he gets a 9 as well. I am so impressed with this man over the last few weeks, I have to say. I've been so impressed with him. He's just settled into that role as if he's prime Maldini. You know what I mean? Just cool as a cucumber, foot on the ball, winning headers, reading the game really well, making tackles, starting fights. I love it. I love everything about it, I have to say. I've been so impressed with him at centre-back over the last few games, and I think he deserves all the praise he's getting. And he's now given Erik Ten Hag that kind of option to say, right, okay, happy days. Harry Maguire, stay there. You're captain of the club, that's okay. Bye. I'm going with Luke Shaw. He's a better footballer. And we know that Ten Hag likes right-footed players to play right centre-back and left-footed players to play left centre-back. So, you know, that's a big advantage for Luke Shaw. But big up to him. He's been absolutely phenomenal over the last few games. Sancho, I give Sancho a 6. Look, he didn't do anything particularly wrong. He wasn't poor. He wasn't spectacular. I think, again, I go back to what I say about Sancho all the time. He frustrates the life out of me when he's attacking. He he builds up this head of steam, and as soon as he comes to contact with a fullback, he slows down, turns around, and just gives it to the fullback who's behind him. There's no aggression. There's no drive to get into that box and really go at him. So he'll get a 6. Maguire, look, 6. Done nothing wrong when he came on. Read one ball came in, he read it really well, and another ball he just cleared his lines. So yeah, happy days. Martial, he gets a 6 as well. Look, what did he play? 10 minutes. Fred, I'll give him a 6 as well. Look, made a couple of fouls and got a yellow card, but I thought they were actually quite smart in relation to the fouls he gave away. I think he made the fouls in the right area of the pitch, and I think it was smart play from him, I have to say. So he'll get a 6. Anthony, when he came on, look, he'll get a 6 as well. He played 19 minutes and didn't do anything wrong. Ten Hag, tactics today I thought were spot on. I'll give him an 8. That ball over the top on the inside channel is clearly something we worked on in training all week. So I thought the tactics were perfect. I thought the lineup was perfect in relation to... maybe not perfect. I'd maybe bring that down to a 7. I would probably like to have seen Anthony on instead of Sancho. I thought his subs were spot on. I'll give them a 7 as well. He made them at the right time, and of course Baldness then gets a 10, as we know. Man of the match today, guys, for me is... Man of the match... Let me know your man of the match in the chat as well, guys. Man of the match for me today is Victor Lindelof. Quality. Absolute quality performance out of Victor Lindelof. I thought he was fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, look, it's been a really, really good professional performance out of Manchester United today. It really has, and it gives us it puts us back in the driving seat for top 4 again, I have to say. It really does. Chris says 2 memberships. Yes. Chris, you know what I'll do? Because there's only 16 here, I'll leave it until the next watch along, because I don't want anybody to miss out. Okay, so I'll leave it until the next watch along, but make sure you remind me, because you know me, scatterbrains. But we'll do it when everybody is in for the next watch along. We'll give away 2 memberships then. But I appreciate the support as always, man. If anybody else wants to become an official member of the YouTube channel, guys, link is in the description. You get some extra content. You get a badge beside your name, your special emojis, all of that kind of stuff. Go check it out. But more than anything, just hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Anybody watching on TikTok, if you haven't already done so, hit the follow button. That helps out the channel more than anything else. We're on the road to 40,000 followers now, so really appreciate all of the support. We do daily Manchester United content, all of the watch-alongs as well throughout the season. Let's go through some of the comments here. When we have Varane and Martinez back, do we play 3 across the back? No. No way, Chris. And my reasoning for that is we've played a certain way all season. Don't change it. Don't change it. Don't confuse the players. Don't now, unless Ten Hag is working on this with him in the training ground over the last 3-4 months, and they know to just switch automatically, but I think if that was the case, we'd already have seen it. Finn says, our serious home record is keeping us in the top 4 chase. Absolutely. Peter says, great live video, buddy. You have become my go-to live match discussion. I enjoy the United stand, but yours feels more personal. I appreciate the kind words, Peter. You're more than welcome. Thanks for the kind words. Chris says you'll be in Spain for... Oh yeah, we'll do it the one after that. Yeah, we'll do it the one after that. Absolutely. But happy days. Look, 3 points in the bag, guys. United are closing their grip on top 4. Happy days, thankfully. So let's hope we can go into... who we got next, actually, by the way. Let me just double check it. I know it's Thursday night. It's Brighton away Thursday night. Now, for anybody watching on YouTube, I will be in Spain, so I'll be doing the watch along on TikTok only. I'm going to find a little pub. I'll have a couple of my mates with me, so it should be a good laugh. Alright? So make sure you're following on TikTok for it. I'm not going to have much content going up this week, guys, because I'm going to be away. don't even know if I'm going to be doing the podcast tomorrow. I might do maybe an evening news show tomorrow if we've got some news to do. But make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel for it, guys. We do all of that kind of stuff on YouTube, so anybody on TikTok, make sure you check that out as well. But I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the subscribes, follows, shares, super chats, members, Chris and Ben, the two OGs of the channel, gifting memberships again. Absolute legends, guys. Really do appreciate all the support. If you haven't already done so, like I said, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and until the next time, I'll see you down the line.